All right, today we're talking about polygons. We're going to classify polygons, and then we're going to talk about the interior and exterior angles of a polygon. A polygon is just any figure. Poly means most or many, so many different types of figures. And there's obviously a bunch of different types of polygons. We've talked about quadrilaterals and we've talked about triangles. Those are two of the basic ones, but there are other size polygons, and we'll talk about those today. A diagonal, interior angles, regular polygon. So here's a bunch of different types of polygons. So we have our triangles that we've talked about and our quadrilaterals, but there's also pentagons, hexagons, heptagon, octagon, nonagon, and decagon. Those are the major ones that we go ahead and use. After that, we just kind of say n-gon. For example, if we have a 24-sided figure, we call it a 24-gon. There are specific names. You could go look them up. Someone's probably listed them out somewhere, and the internet's a wonderful thing to go find them in. But for practical purposes, all we just do at this point is a 24-gon. These first 10 are the ones that we use. These first 8, are the ones that we use most often. Triangle, quadrilateral, pentagon, hexagon. Heptagons don't get talked about much. Obviously, octagon, your stop signs, nonagon, and decagon. And then we just go from there. All right, so let's go ahead and try to classify this one. So all we have to do is just start counting up the sides. And we'll start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-sided figure. That's a polygon has 5 sides, so it's obviously a pentagon. So let's talk about this one. Let's go start in this corner over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 sides, yep. And that's, of course, a heptagon. So what about this one? Let's start with the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-sided. That's a hexagon. And then one more here. Ooh, it kind of looks like pants. Let's start in the top here then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, we just had one with 7. It's called a heptagon. The other key concept that we have here is what if we want to find the sum of the interior angles? That's all of them. Now, we know that the sum of the interior of a triangle is 180, and we've also talked about quadrilaterals who are 360. What about these bigger ones? How can we figure those out? Well, there's actually a formula. The formula is right here, n minus 2 times 180. N means the number of sides. So like for a quadrilateral, it's just 4. For a decagon, that would be 10. And you just subtract it and then multiply by 180. Let's look at how to use this. So quadrilateral has 4 sides, so therefore we say n equals 4. Now we're going to plug into our formula, n minus 2 times 180, so 4 minus 2 times 180. We've got to do the 4 minus 2, that's in parentheses, so 2 times 180, or just 360. We, of course, already knew that. That's something we covered earlier. So the sum is 360. Let's try another one. Of a pentagon. Now remember, a pentagon has 5 sides. So n equals 5. So we're going to do 5 minus 2, which is 3. And then 3 times 180 is just 540. So our answer is 540. Now, what happens if we want to find just one of the interior angles? In order to find one of the interior angles, we'll have to do an additional step. We're going to have to do some dividing. Let me walk you through it. So first, it's an octagon. So we got to find out how many is the sum of all of them. So we got to find out all of them, just like what we just got done doing. So an octagon is 8, so our n is 8. Once we know that n is 8, we can plug it into our formula, n minus 2, so 8 minus 2, which of course is 6 times 180, or 1080, 1080 there. So that's all of them, but we only want one. How do we find just one? Well, an octagon has 8 sides, so it also has to have 8 angles. And if it has 8 angles, we can then go ahead and divide by 8. So we're going to take that 1080 and divide by 8, and that gives us 135. So we know that each of the interior angles is only 135 degrees. Let's try one more. Hexagon. How many sides for a hexagon? 6, n equals 6. So 180 times 6 minus 2, which is 4. Multiply that is 720. And then we divide by the number of sides. So we go 720 divided by 6. So each angle is 120 degrees. And that's what I have for you today.